Good evening and welcome to Crossroads Christian Ministries training session on tonight. We're here in the city of Prattville, Alabama, and I'm Apostle Cheryl. Hey, and I'm just here to give you I can't tell you it's a brief word, but I'm going to give you what's on my heart because as I came into the training center, I began to speak to them that were already present. And then that thing got kind of good to me, but I am wearing my shirt tonight, and my shirt says true. And I was just giving them a little testimony of about how one of my brothers, my baby brother, as a matter of fact, he was in an accident earlier sometime in the end of last month. But he called me today, and I didn't know that he'd already had been discharged from the hospital. But long story short, I'm grateful to God that God saw fit to not only keep him throughout the accident, but to also be able to release him, that he would be able to go home. He said last Friday, he actually left and got home on last Friday. And I'm just saying today, I thought about him, his situation, and the different things that he had experienced in life. And then I went to myself, me being a sibling, one of his siblings. I thought about myself, and let me just say this to everybody that's listening tonight. It is so much better. It'll be better for you, and it's better for everybody else that's around you. Whenever, and what I'm about to say, believe it or not, it will free you from a lot of people that's around you. I'm not telling you that those people around you will leave you. However, what I am saying is that whenever you're able to not only be true to yourself, but to speak the truth to yourself, this is something that we don't want to do as a part of forward movement in our consecration. We don't want to sit in our truth. There comes a time that we need to, knowing the truth, speaking the truth, all of that is good, but it's time that we take a seat. Just sit in your truth. You say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say sit in my truth? Well, I believe that whenever I speak the truth, I should be able to say it and keep it moving. Right, you physically keep going, but the truth that you have spoken, you need to be able to sit in that. I don't care how far you go forward, how much you go forward. You need to be able to sit in the truth. And with that being said, what I was talking about was basically about how whenever I began to deal with myself, and I was telling them whenever it was that I was getting ready to be married, and how sometimes as women, young girls, your mother will get you to the side and she'll tell you, this is what you're to expect. Don't let this happen. You'll do this. You're supposed to be like this. And I told them, I said, I didn't get that. I did not get that. Before I got married, we went before my mom said that we wanted to be married. My mom, you had to have known my mother, and she was quite a lady. She was one that I don't care what I told her, her countenance would never change. She would never give me a look of disgust. She would never show me that she was angry. She would always look the same, but yet she would listen and she would take in just what it was I was saying to her. And I never knew when my mom was mad. I really didn't. I could never tell you when she was upset. I told her my everything. And I was glad because in those places she freed me and she gave me the liberty to be able to speak to her, not only from truth and in truth, but I was able to tell her my everything without being judged, without being looked at or being looked upon. That comes from love. And I understand that. I trust me, I understand that came from her being able to love me. And more so maybe her maybe knowing me a little bit more than what I knew myself. But how you like this? Had you ever stopped to consider that the things that I was telling her could have been some of the things that she had already done? that she couldn't tell nobody. Sometimes somebody is just listening for something that they can identify with that they could not tell anybody else about. But whenever they hear it, then they themselves understand that not only are they not to judge, but they understand that there is love in what it is you're bringing to them, and they're able to receive themselves better in the truth that you have spoken concerning yourself. Well, you say, well, guess what? Well, by me speaking the truth ain't doing is, but it's not doing anything for her. You really don't know. You just don't know. She only told me this. And this is where the conversation erupted from that I was speaking with those that were present. She only said this. She said, Cheryl, she said, basically, she said, your father never laid his hands on me. He never beat me. She said, and I don't intend for you to let your husband beat you. Now, some of you may, listening out there, you may say, what? She must be, Stop thinking. I'm about to tell you. She'd already told me what she had never experienced. But evidently, she had lived in a culture. She lived in an environment where people around her, where she knew that this was actually taking place. And sometimes a lot of us will always say concerning our own children, well, I'm not going to do them like I was done. I'm not going to raise my children. I'm not going to beat my children. I'm not going to yell at my children. You don't have to do nothing you don't want to do. But what I will encourage you to do on tonight is to be true to yourself. Think about where you are, but I want you to sit in where you came from and how you came up. Sit in that for a while. Because, see, we have a tendency to want to do better than what we were done. But until you can sit in your truth about what was done, how it was done, sit in the truth about how you were and what you did as a result of. See, because just because you don't want to raise your children the way you've been brought up, but just because you don't want to do your children like you've been done, it does not say that after you were done that way, that you didn't go in your own way. See, that's the place that nobody wants to sit in. You don't want to sit in what you did after what was done to you was done. And then from that place, how you went on in life and what the things that you did in life. If we can address those things in truth, if you can address those in truth and sit in that for a while, then you will have all that you have need of. You will be able, let me say it like this, and capable then of not trying to do as I say, but not as I do. You will be doing exactly what you're saying, and then therefore you'll be able to give your child that you're living. The only way that can happen is that from what you're not going to do, you have to address the area of what you did after what was done to you. That's the truth that you'll have to sit in. You know what they say, to thine own self be true. That's where we have to go to tonight, seriously. I wanted to talk about age and time. And kind of in a sense, this is going to go along with it. Everything we're hearing now is we're hearing about people dying. We're hearing about, people are taking other people's lives. They're going into Walmarts. They're shooting up. It didn't just start happening. But God gave me two words. He said, age and time. And you might say, well, you know what? Well, that's almost The same thing, age and time. However, it's not. Whenever you think about age, you think about how old you are. I think about how old I am. But I also want you to think about the years it took to bring you to this age. So that's dealing with the number of years that you have previously lived up until the age you are now. But have we ever considered knowing how old we are now? Has anybody ever considered how many more years you got to live? That's age, right? Now, let's deal with time. Time is something that God created knowing that we were going to be here. And what he did concerning time was he created time so that we all could make the decision in time on where we want to spend eternity. I don't know what else you think time is for. You think time, I don't know what else you think time is for. So, with saying that, you know how old you are, but don't know how many more years you got to live. But everybody want to holler and say, you know, you were created for a purpose. So, whatever your age is, knowing that you were created for a purpose, how much more time do you have to fulfill that purpose? See, we don't think on the level of, we talk about moving forward, but you're moving forward going where? See, that's the key. Everybody's moving forward, but where are you going? Where do you see yourself ending up at? Where do you see the end of your forward movement being? Where is it? Oh, I got goals in the next 5 years. What about after those 5 years? Because there's going to come a time that forward movement is going to end. So whenever you get to wherever you're going, where is the end? Where is the end? What is the end? That's why listen to this word. That's why it behooves us. You know, we stretched our collars up. You know, I'm moving forward. You know, I'm reinventing myself. For what? For what? For what? See, now that's the question. You're fasting, you're praying for what? You're in consecration for what? What are you praying for? What are you fasting for? What are you taking communion for? What are you facing forward for? What are you moving forward for? Why are you sowing your seed? Why? Why? If you don't know, if you don't have, what are you speaking for? What are you listening for? What is it for? Sit in your truth concerning those questions. Sit in your truth. You can't speak about this. You got to sit down in this. You have to see yourself in this. You have to know yourself in this. It's not deep tonight. It's just real. See, because on one hand, everybody can talk about what's happening and what they see going on in the world. But on the other hand, when you ask them, are you prepared for what's going on? Are you prepared for what's happening? Are you prepared for whatever else is getting ready to happen? That's the question. What are you in preparation for? What is your purpose? Sit in that. Because what I've discovered is a lot of people are coming together in different places saying a whole lot of stuff, and after that they're running home, locking up, getting behind them bars and stuff, setting them alarms. What are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? We want to work, but then we want to run and hide after we feel that our day is done of work. Tell yourself the truth. Ask yourself these questions. Please, by all means, do it tonight. Ask yourself these questions. Why am I praying? Why am I fasting? We had that conversation kind of like today. Me and another lady, we were talking, and I promise you, whenever she was telling me, she said, I fast, I gave up, soda. I said, what did you say? I'm not bothering nobody about you and your fast. See, because I take the word. He said, now, whatever you come up with for a fast, he asked us all a question. He said, but is that the fast that I have chosen? So you're chosen to fast from TV, sodas, sweets, telephone, social media. Check the word out. God asked you a question. You choosing the fast that you want. Then that let me know that you got to be praying the prayer that you want. Well, sit in your truth on tonight. Sit in your truth. How many of us are saying that we're tired of going through some of the things that we're going through, and yet we find ourselves getting up out of it, sitting right back down in it? Because something comes to give us just a glimmer of hope, just a glimmer of light, but we're not able to even hold on to that glimmer to cause it to burst out into a flame, that it would ignite our very souls, and it will cause us to run like never before and never return back to the place of doubt, drought. You're not getting what it's taking and what it's going to take to ignite that flame, that it will burn in you, that it will burn out everything that's not like him in us. How many of us are tired of being up and down, topsy-turvy? Good today, down tomorrow, maybe the next couple of days. Come on, y'all. I know y'all raising your hand out there, sitting on y'all couches and stuff. I see you. I feel you. The only way that you're going to be able to get up out of that routine, to get out of that rut, is to sit in truth. When you can sit in your truth, then you can speak your truth. When you can speak your truth will cause you to rise. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. Stop thinking. Everybody's looking for a good word. Here's a good word. Stop thinking that everything that you're doing is good and is right, and everybody is against you. Stop thinking like that. Sit in your truth and say, no, I'm messed up, I'm dirty, I'm wrong, but as long as I ain't got caught, nobody can tell me otherwise. Now that's the true flop. Sit in that. If I was to ask you out there tonight, speak your truth that you've already been sitting in, but you just don't want nobody to know. Speak your truth. Because remember, age and time. Age and time. Those are the two factors that's operating in our lives daily. Age, you can't go back, and yet you still don't know how many more you got ahead. And time, how much longer do you have to fulfill? You'll say there's a call in your life. You'll say that God has a purpose for you. You'll say it. All these things you're saying, are you prepared to sit in what you say so that it can be revealed to you? As I said, when you do that, I quit. When you do that, then you don't have to run and ask anybody or run looking for a word. I'm promoting this true shirt tonight. To thine own self be true. A derivative of the truth. Be truthful. And as I said, whenever you're able to be that, to sit in that, it's going to free you up from a lot of people. See, you think it's them bothering you, but it's you holding on to them. All because you won't speak truth to release them. It's okay. Be truthful to yourself, and tonight I encourage you to sit in your truth. 2 words as I leave you: age and time. Age and time. God bless you on tonight.